Hello, I'm Vincent Creel, Public Affairs Manager for the City of Biloxi, and I'm here to deliver today's Be Prepared report. We record these updates every Monday and Friday. This one is being recorded on Friday, August 28th, 2020 at 1:30 in the afternoon. We have a number of things to talk about today, including an update from Fire Chief Joe Boney on what's happening in the Hurricane Laura disaster zone. But first, the numbers. Today, the Mississippi State Department of Health reports that in the past 24 hours, 599 new cases of the coronavirus were identified statewide. And since Monday, we've seen 2,900 new cases statewide. This brings the statewide total to more than 81,000 cases of the coronavirus since mid-March. Also since mid-March, we've seen more than 2,400 deaths statewide, with 14 reported today. This chart shows you the total number of positive tests statewide since the crisis began about 6 months ago. This chart shows you the 14-day track on cases statewide. In Harrison County, the State Department of Health reports that we've seen 26 positive tests of the coronavirus in the past 24 hours. Since Monday, we've seen 120 new cases here in Harrison County. This brings the countywide total since mid-March to 3,200 cases. Of those 3,200 cases, 53 have ended in death. Here's the 14-day chart for Harrison County, which shows you the daily average of new cases. One of the key things to watch on that chart is the daily average. That's the red line. Right now, it's an average of 31 new cases a day. 2 weeks ago, it was at 47 new cases a day. The numbers are going in the right direction, down. We have to believe that that's because, as a community, we're doing the things we need to do. However, please continue to follow the guidelines. Wear that mask. Be careful in public. Keep your distance. Wash your hands frequently. It's really the simple things, but if we don't do them, it's not good for anyone. This week, Biloxi Public Schools announced that Biloxi High School would switch to distance learning for all high school students for 2 weeks. That's after 15 high school students tested positive for COVID-19. Governor Reeves applauded the school district's decision for the high school and said that many of the new cases were traced back to large gatherings away from school. So please remember those things. And now this. Joining me now is Biloxi Fire Chief Joe Boney. Chief, you've got some men over in Louisiana right now, 3 people, I believe. What are they doing?
Right. We got a message this morning. They're on their way down to Cameron, Louisiana to do search and rescue. You know, it's been tough for anybody to get in that area until today because the waters have been so high up in there. And there's a fear of a large loss of life in that area just because of where it is. Yes. So they have requested teams to go in there and start doing searches, and so they have been in there since this morning working.
Now, these 3 firefighters that are out there on the front lines, they're part of a task force?
Right, there are 30 men from Mississippi in this task force, and their mission is to go over and assist Louisiana in any way they can. They have specialized equipment and skills, so that's why they were chosen to go and do water rescues, high water rescues, swift water rescue. That's the majority of the major work they'll be doing, but they will be doing house-to-house searches as well. This
would be reminiscent for people 15 years ago whenever they would see the big X's on the side of a house.
Right. These teams, they're the same type of teams. They go in, they search the house, they put an X on the house, and then there'll be numbers. You'll see numbers around that X, and that gives the next team coming in the information that they need to know that they do not need to search that structure.
I got to tell you, man, we had Marco that was talked about. We had Laura that was talked about. Marco kind of disappeared. Laura, when you look at those satellite images, or at least when I looked at them as it was making landfall, it was what I call frighteningly familiar.
It was It was the asymmetrical storm, the perfect, when you think of a hurricane, that's the picture you think of. You don't see that a whole lot.
And by that, you're talking about that tight eye?
Right, it's a tightly formed storm, and it has the eye right in the center. Thank goodness we don't get them very often, but they're the dangerous ones. Yeah.
Let me ask you one thing about what you normally do with your volunteers at the fire museum. These are traditionally firefighters, and you don't rush right in after a storm. Tell people where you are right now with what you're planning to do for Laura.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're in the planning stages. It takes a lot to get a group together, to get them over to the proper place to work, to have the facilities and the ability to feed them and house them in that disaster zone without being a burden on the community. So right now we are in the planning stages. We have people that are making contacts over there to see where our help will be needed the most. We are getting our equipment ready. We're soliciting volunteers to work, and all these things that need to be done in preparation for making a sustained trip.
I think what you do is you wait till things settle down a little bit, and in the past, give me some ideas of some of the places you've been.
Wow, we've been to New York after Hurricane Sandy. We've been to North Carolina. We've been to South Texas. We've been to Louisiana. We've been to Florida. We've been to Oklahoma.
And when you go, you are there for what, 4 or 5 days, and what all do you do?
Yeah, usually we try to do it for at least 7 days, sometimes a little bit longer. Like in New York, we were there for 14 days. So, but we are there to assist. What we try to do is assist first responders, because they're the ones that are helping the community after the storms and generally do not have time to take care of their own property. So we go in and we try to assist any first responders, and that means not just police and fire or ambulance, but sheriff departments or dispatchers, anyone who may need help. But if the need is not there for them, we certainly go into the community and help anyone in the community with their property, clearing their property, cleaning their homes out, whatever it takes.
But to do this, the most important thing that we are asking the people of Biloxi right now is to help support this effort by going to the Biloxi Fire Department Facebook page, or the City of Biloxi Facebook page, or the Police Department Facebook page, and there's a quick, easy link there to a GoFundMe account, and that money will help supply.
Right, it'll go 100% to helping to sustain this effort, whether it be for materials or food or whatever we need.
Gas, anything.
Right, anything to sustain this effort.
So we're asking you to please, if you remember how much we were helped after Katrina on this anniversary weekend, and to give people an idea of the impact it has in these communities. And I always go back to this story where you gave this town a fire truck with the approval of the Biloxi City Council, surplus truck. Tell people what happened whenever they were thinking of putting that truck into service in the little town of
Three Forks, Mississippi. Yeah, it's actually a community. It wasn't even a town, but it's a volunteer department, and man, they were just decimated after tornadoes had ripped through that community. They lost their station, they lost all of their equipment, and the city was very gracious in assisting us and getting them a piece of equipment so they could provide protection for that community. And we got them one of our surplus trucks, which we can't use anymore, but it's still a good truck, and we brought it and gave it to them. And on the front of all of our trucks, we have the word Biloxi Fire Department on the front, and they took and had a little sign made and put above it that said "We Love," and they still use that truck today.
That is so heartwarming, and for the people of Biloxi, the gift that you're going to give is something that will be so meaningful to people who, you've told me before, it's not just a matter of going in and helping them, it's a matter of instilling some hope in them.
Right, that's a big part of what we do. We go in and we actually have people that sit down and talk to these people that we help and spend time with them and try because we can all remember where we were after Katrina, and you just thought the weight of the world was on your shoulders. But we have conversations with them, and we reassure them that, you know, we've been there, we know what it's like, and you can get past this, and you will get past this. It's not going to be what you used to. It's going to be a new normal, and but you're gonna get past it.
Okay, Chief, I want to thank you very much. How many people are you going to have on this trip?
I really don't know yet. We're working that out. We you know, typically we like to take 6 to 7 people with us. We meet up with New Sharon, Iowa, who is our sister department that assists us with this. They'll have probably 5 to 7 people, and we'll have 2 good crews of 14 people all together. So.
And these are Spartan conditions.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I've slept in tents. I've slept, you know, on top of cars and things like that. So we know what we're going into, and we're prepared to do that. That's not a big issue. But you know, the main thing I would say is that the people that you get to help, there's no amount of money or anything that can give you that satisfaction.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're making Biloxi proud when you're out on those trips.
We try to.
Thank you. We leave you today as we approach the 15th anniversary of Katrina on Saturday with a reminder of Camille, the original monster storm, and Katrina, and so much more. Here's a preview of what you can see right now on BTV. Watch it on Sparklelight, on Uverse, or anywhere in the world on the City of Biloxi website. Have a great weekend, have a safe weekend, and we will see you again here Monday.
Local color is blooming daily in August on BTV. You'll meet the artists behind the colorful murals throughout our downtown area. You can see this special presentation, The Murals of Biloxi, every day at 7 a.m., 7 p.m., and 12:30 in the afternoon. Mural on the wall. They even go as far east as the Seafood Museum, where there's a tribute to Hurricane Camille. And then on BTV, you can see one of our most loved and respected community leaders, former Civil Defense Director Wade Geis. See the colorful Geis steer Biloxi through and beyond Camille, the original monster storm. A Lady Called Camille airs every morning and evening at 7:30 and each afternoon at 1. And Wade Geis, talk about local color. And who could be more colorful than Fofo Gillage, who sets the record straight about the surfing scene from Camille. It's actually heavens to Betsy. Our monthly infrastructure progress report lets you see firsthand how things are wrapping up on the infrastructure projects. And yes, we're driving paved roads. And you can see the 5-minute report every morning and evening at 6:25 a.m. And now that these new drainage systems are in, we have tips on how you can keep them functioning at full capacity and how you can help protect our local waterways. It's common sense advice every morning, evening, and afternoon. Nick Geiser, the city's emergency manager, has a question for you at the midpoint of hurricane season. Are you ready? Nick has the answers each morning and evening at 8:45 and in the afternoon at 2:45. August is budget time for city leaders. You'll see our mayor, our city council, conducting the business of city government each week. Look for replays of the city council meetings each morning and evening at 9 and each afternoon at 3. It's real-time government in action, unedited and shown in its entirety. And finally, in this month of anniversaries of Camille and Katrina, we present yet another take on Hurricane Katrina. 15 years after the storm, it's the story as told through the eyes of the people behind the shield, the staff and officers at the Salvation Army Gulf Coast Command. Yes, we're brimming with local color on BTV every day in August. Don't forget that our day has musical stylings of Rock and Ray and Ronnie Broussard, with plenty of local color, old Biloxi color in between. You can watch BTV in Biloxi on Sparklight 56. We are also on AT&T UVerse 99 in Biloxi and at biloxi.ms.us/BTV anywhere in the world. BTV, Biloxi Television. Check it out in August. It's colorful.